Let's talk a little bit about that. I want to talk to you today about something that's been rattling the markets for quite a while now called silver derivatives, and more specifically, the broken promises they represent. You see, when you hear about silver derivatives, you're diving into a complex web of financial products, many of which were created to obscure the true value of silver and manipulate its market pricing. But when you dig deeper, when you open the door of knowledge, you uncover the staggering truth. Now, let's break tradition here and let me show you what I'm talking about here over on the U.S. debt clock, okay? Because this is where we're getting the information from, all right? So we go over here to the U.S. debt clock. You're going to see that currently they're admitting they have created 375.06 paper ounces of silver to every 1 ounce of silver that physically exists. But let's take a look at what their ratio is, okay? The ratio that they have is $8,290 per ounce for gold versus, don't touch the screen there, versus $1,071 per ounce for silver. If you do the math on that, you're about 7.1 to 1. So that's the ratio, the pricing ratio of silver. So what does it come out of the ground at? Well, goodness, it comes out of the ground at 7.1 to 1. Well, what is the ratio right now? When you take a look at the spot price of silver and occurring, and compare that to what the real price of silver is. Well, goodness, you know, you're much, much higher than that. So this is where we're getting these numbers from. The debt just continues to grow and grow and grow. And here we're going to show you that we are in violation of Ferguson's law. Ferguson's law says that when your interest on the debt exceeds your defense budget, the country is in downfall. All right. So what we want to do is let's concentrate right now. Let's get back to the oratory on what we're talking about as far as paper silver derivatives, which means they've sold each ounce of silver over 375 times. Now that's where we're talking about the criminality. Okay. Let's unpack this thing together and let's understand what the heck is going on here so that we don't get stuck. All right. You understand what's happening. So let me start with the number 375.08 to 1. Now, some of you might recognize that ratio, the silver to gold ratio on the COMEX, a ratio that's been emblematic of just how far the financial system has gone in distorting the price of silver. This number represents the current ratio of silver contracts to actual physical silver held in reserve. It's 375.08 to 1 paper ounces of silver traded for every single ounce of physical silver that actually exists, tangible silver that exists. And why does that matter? Because this ratio is a glaring indicator of how derivatives, those financial instruments based on the value of silver, are used to control and suppress the true price of this precious metal. Now let's rewind. The entire premise behind the derivatives was to provide a way for people to speculate on commodities like silver without actually having to hold the physical silver and the physical metal itself. But here's the problem. There are more promises than there are real silver to back them up. That's right. The very system was designed to offer flexibility and ease for investors has turned into a house of cards. Instead of supporting the silver market, those derivatives create artificial demand. It's fake, folks. We're going to be blowing the whistle on a lot of things here today. Get a comfortable seat. We got a lot to uncover. Driving the price down, leading us to a broken promise, the promise that silver could be an asset you could rely on, backed by real value. And yet, the silver derivatives market operates at 375.08 to 1 paper ounces, can stand in for 1 ounce of physical silver. So what does this mean for you and me, the everyday stacker or the silver enthusiast? Well, the price of silver is being manipulated on a global scale. The real value of silver, what it should be, remains obscured by the artificial markets created by paper contracts, forcing people to rely on these broken promises instead of tangible wealth. When you buy silver, you're essentially participating in a game that's rigged, as well as the stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. You might hold the metal in your hands, but the real market is being controlled by those 375.08 paper ounces. Again, we talked about you can fool all the people some of the people all the time, but you can never fool all the people all the time. That's what we're doing. We're calling out the good doctor here. We got an expose on him tomorrow morning, full outline of what he's been doing. Blowing the whistle on that guy. But let me tell you this. The truth is the silver market is broken, but that doesn't mean the silver is broken itself. Remember I told you, at this point in time, trust God and the periodic table. That's it. Silver remains a great protector of wealth, one true store of value that can withstand the manipulation of fiat currencies while these paper promises dance in their speculative playground. Physical silver is waiting to step up and take its rightful place in the financial system. But here's the good news, Ted heads. Knowledge is power. You see, understanding these systems, understanding the numbers like 375.08 to 1, and learning about the broken promises they represent, this can be the key that unlocks all the doors to financial freedom. That's why we came out of retirement, to help you guys. This is an unprecedented opportunity. And I'm not the one selling you metal. And I'm not even, we're not making a nickel on this. You're not watching any commercials. It's all free. Folks, I learned a lot, made a lot in my whole entire career. 20, 30, how many years? My goodness.
Oh, 20.
A lot of years.
Yeah.
27.
27.
I'm ready to start again now. It feels like 37 right now. You guys are really taking a toll on me. So when you understand how silver derivatives manipulate the market, you can make informed decisions and choices. You can see the difference between paper silver and physical silver, and you'll know that when the music stops, we talked about this, musical chairs, those of you who hold the physical silver will have true power. So think of it this way. You got 375 people, all with their backs to one chair. It's called, musical chairs, I think, right? Okay. And the way the game works is gradually they remove one chair at a time every time the music stops. So now we have 375.08 people. Just go with 375, to be honest here. Okay. So now the music stops. One person's going to get the seat in that chair. Now you tell me what the other 374 people are going to feel when their butt hits the ground, and what their reaction is going to be when they look up and they see somebody sitting in the chair, the only one. Are they going to offer to buy that ounce of silver from this guy at multiples of what he currently paid? You're absolutely right. And that's the period of time that we're looking at the 1-to-1. That, folks, is the ratio trade. You stick with me. You do what I ask you to do. It's not that you're making any money on this. Please set that stuff to the side. It's about what you need to do to protect your financial future right now. And after you protect your financial future, you get your purchasing power put in the digits, coin of the realm. Take it out of the digits, put it in the coin of the realm. And right now, the best deal going right now are the dimes. $1.02 over spot, and you get 14 transactions out of one pure ounce, a troy ounce of silver. Dimes are the place to go, the place to be right now. If you've ever worked for a nonprofit, you've ever sold raffle tickets or worked at a bake table, what's the number one problem you always have? Change. Nobody has any change, right? So if you are the one that has the dimes and other people have American Silver Eagles or whatever kind of money they think that they have out there, you're the one that's going to be able to offer change, because people aren't going to be able to go in and buy a stick of gum for $1,000. It isn't going to work that way. You're going to need to be able to break down the value of what it is you have. So let me close with this reminder. Don't let the promises of the future, the financial elites, deceive you. Don't let the shadow market of derivatives make you doubt the real value of silver. When the day comes, and it's coming, Ted Heads, the real wealth will be in your hands and those who have invested in what matters, what's real. I know there's a lot of lies going on out there right now, and damn it, we're going to make sure that they're all rated. We're shining a light in areas that you have no idea. For instance, the GDP. Did you know the gross domestic product that's counted here in the United States includes the imported stuff that's resold inside the United States? Now they're saying we have a negative GDP. Do you know why? Because they had a spike in imports, because we knew that the tariffs were going to take effect, and that they wanted to get the products in here before the tariffs took effect. So they loaded up, and that's the reason why we had a truck full of imports come in. And what this does is it juiced up the GDP numbers a quarter before. Well, now the number's down low. And the reason it's down low is because we're taking into consideration the GDP, which should not be counted. GDP stands for gross domestic product, stuff we're supposed to make here in the United States, not stuff that comes in container ships and big container, whatever, boxes and sold throughout the country. That's not domestic product. Okay, that's export product being brought in and sold. Okay, imported products are imported from them. So, folks, there's really not a whole lot of truth out there. The only truth that I can guarantee you right now is that if you hold the coin of the realm and you have it tested, make sure that it's guaranteed by the government. Now, if you're holding bars and rounds, it's not guaranteed by anybody, but a private company's making money. And what are they in business for? To make a profit, right? You need to be holding the coin of the realm. You need to be holding government-issued silver and gold. Government-issued silver and gold, not bars, rounds, and beanie babies, because the only people you're going to sell that back to are the people who sold it to you in the first place. Check it out. Some people are telling me they're only offered 78% of what is they originally paid. They're taking a 22% haircut on top of the 8% commission they paid to get this stuff in the first place. Folks, we can do a lot better than this, and we are going to do a lot better than this. We're exposing the people that are doing this. Unfortunately, though, it's the biggest platforms that are out there. They're the guys that are helping this guy tout all his illicit wares. So we know what's going on. Remember, knowledge is key that unlocks all doors. The more you know, the more you understand about how the system works and how to navigate it. but you can't use their math. You're going to have to get the truth. And we're giving you the truth here. Promise you. You'll have the power to rise above the broken promises of derivatives if you hold on to the true value of silver. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. For those of you that have your wealth being held in somebody else's vault, I suggest you take a very close look at the contract. What happens when the price goes up to these outrageous numbers compared to their contracts? Let's suppose we're looking at $1,000 an ounce for silver. Don't you think that people will be along the side of the road where these vaults are waiting to try to get the people coming in and take the money? Now you want to get your money out of there. Now get out of there before the rush. Take a phone call. If they say, oh, it's going to be a huge tax hit, you got 60 days to roll it back into them. Find out if it's real. Find out if it's true, folks. Probably not going to hear this anywhere else, are you? Because people make money off of this stuff. We're not, and that's why we're not liked. So without any more, thanks for joining me today, and let's keep pushing forward. We're all in this together, and we promise you we're going to hang here with you until the manipulation ends, 7 days a week. We're going to lay out the truth for you, and you're going to understand exactly what's happening. No TED is going to be taken advantage of as long as you follow what's going on here. So God bless you all. Let's continue to move on with the stories. We got a lot to cover. Trump's capitulation tour briefly, and then we got a whole lot to unpack.
I don't want to do that step. So we'll see what happens. But we're in very serious negotiations with Iran for long-term peace. And if we do that, it'll be fantastic. And for this country in particular, because you're right next door. You're a stone's throw away, not even, right? You're a foot away. You can walk right into Iran.
Senator, could I get your reaction to Trump doubling down on accepting the $400 million jet from Qatar?
I have zero issue with it.
You have zero issue with it? Do you think it raises ethics concerns or national security concerns?
You ever been to New York and saw the Statue of Liberty? That was a gift, too.
Do you have any safety concerns about, this coming from a foreign government? And
So you know anything about safety and our security and our intel? Do you know anything about it? So do you think we're really going to take a plane and not strip it and put all the Air Force One stuff in it, even if it came brand new from the factory? If you don't understand that basic knowledge, then you probably shouldn't be reporting on it.
I'm ready. United States of America countdown to America's 250th anniversary, 413 days, 22 hours, 11 minutes, and 6 seconds at the time we printed this.
And here in America, we have big events coming up. Next year, we have the 250th anniversary of America's founding. I'm so honored to be president during that. That's been a big event. They've been talking about it for 10 years. We also have the World Cup, and I understand Gianni's in the room. Infantino, he was very instrumental in helping us get it. He's there with you someplace, I think, and I want to thank him for that. And then we have the Olympics coming up, which I was instrumental in getting also in my first term. And who would have known that by skipping a term, I would get the Olympics? I was upset. I said, I got the Olympics to come and I won't be president. But it turned out through a stroke of luck, or whatever you might call it, that I'm going to be president during the World Cup and the Olympics and the 250th anniversary. So that's going to be 3 big events.
Folks, huh? We've gone from being the laughing stock 6 months ago to the hottest country anywhere in the world. We've raised trillions of dollars in investments. There's never been anything like it, says President Donald John Trump. The entire world is about ready to change forever. Are you ready? Get the digits into the dimes. Unpack here right now, but we are getting close to the end, so there's no time to take a break. The most powerful man in the world, Mr. Burns from The Simpsons, is based off Jacob Rothschild's net worth $500 trillion, owns every central bank. Isn't that what I told you? And financed both sides of every war since Napoleon. This is the guy that owns the Bank for International Settlements. He owns the 207 individual banks around the world, not banks meaning the like Bank of America, the country's banks. He owns the banks in 207 countries. I mean, like, be one thing, hey, I own Bank of America, or I own, Signet or whatever other bank there is around here. No, this guy owns all the banks in all the countries. Now, that's the King Daddy. The Fed doesn't work without the IRS. Kill one, the other dies. People chant, end the Fed. It's a protest slogan, but here's the truth they don't tell you. The Federal Reserve is powerless without the IRS. Didn't I tell you the IRS is going away? One prints a debt, the other extracts your blood to repay it. The Fed creates money out of thin air, not backed by gold, not by production, by nothing. The fake money is lent to the U.S. government with interest. Who pays the interest? You, through the IRS. Every April 15th, you're not funding roads and schools. You're servicing a debt that was never yours to begin with. You're a citizen? No. your collateralized asset in central banking Ponzi scheme. Here's the part that they really don't want you asking. What if we didn't need the IRS at all? What if America could fund itself through tariffs, energy, trade, tokenized assets, strategic leverage, not labor theft? This isn't theory. It's already being drafted. And here we are with the IRS, folks. The IRS is going to be no more. The IRS actually spells theirs, doesn't it? No more. Yeah. The Federal Reserve believes they own us. Time to audit and destroy their monetary dictatorship. They print money, rig interest rates, and pay zero taxes. Is that fair?